What's going on, guys? Seancutshair back with another video. I'm at my shop. I'm about to go see if my new guy will cut my hair. He's brand new. I don't know if he's gonna go for it. You guys know how it is. It's a little bit intimidating. So let's go up here and see if we can get him to cut my hair. Give me a haircut?
Yeah.
Let's get it. All right, so we're gonna jump right into this cut. This is my man Roscoe the Barber on Instagram. He's the newest barber at my shop. Basically telling him I wanna do a 6 all the way around the sides to get it off of my ears. A little bit of a taper on the sideburns and a taper in the back. Just a simple cleanup, guys. I really wanted to chop it up with him, and he ended up asking me how I got into barbering. So if you guys are interested on hearing how I got into barbering, I will tell that story here in a minute. I'm gonna follow along on this side, tell you guys what he's doing, and then we'll get into that here in a second. So we're gonna start off with a number 6 all the way around the edges. You can see blending right into the weight on the sides, and then we will do a taper on the sideburn. Now he's gonna come in and do the first guideline with the Slimline Pros. You guys can see my man already watching my videos and doing some of the steps that I do. We'll go ahead and ball it out with the Slimlines, come in with the shaver underneath, and start our first step. Next up, we're gonna come in with the clipper all the way open, do our first guideline about a 1/2 inch up, then we can start to work that line out from the bottom. So we'll do the clipper all the way open at the top, clipper closed at the bottom, and clipper halfway open, halfway up into the section. Next step will be with the 1 guard all the way open. You guys can see he's working with a lot of hair here, so it's not gonna be a real obvious guideline. Just gonna work it up a little bit with the clipper open. Then we'll close it up with the 1 guard and take that line out. The 1/2 guard will take the last little hint of a line out between the open section and the 1 section. Next up, he's gonna use the 1.5 and start to blend the rest of this into the weight on the sides. So hopefully this will blend it in. Anything else can be cleaned up with a bigger guard or some shear over comb that we'll do at the end. Now, I'm not sure what guard this is. I'm gonna assume that it's number 2. Looks like it's open, and he's just using this number 2 to connect the taper that he just did into the length on the sides, and then we can move on to the lineup. Now we're gonna do a nice sharp C-cup. These are the Rose Gold FX, guys. They are hitting just like my Gold FX. You guys know I have the custom FX, but all of these trimmers are fire, guys. If you don't have one, definitely recommend having them. We're gonna do a nice sharp C-cup, start to work the line around the ear, and then we'll move on to the back taper. You guys can see we got this first side done. Then we're gonna go in and start on the back taper. And I'm gonna tell him my story, guys, of how I got into cutting hair. So if you haven't heard that story, here we go. I hope you guys enjoy it. It might be kind of hard to hear. It is in the shop while we're open. A lot of guys talking. I hope you guys can hear it. I hope you guys take something away from my story if you haven't heard it.
So you grew hair like before you went to barber college?
No, never.
Yeah, that's what so what made you want to go to barber college? From like,
I get that.
So I was at B-Dubs, and you know Jay's Good Grill? He's a food truck around here.
Yeah.
So he worked with me. And my cousin was cutting my hair. And I didn't have all these tattoos, but I had some tattoos, and she gave me a little mohawk. It was a little Cosmo mohawk, you know what I'm saying? And so one day he comes to me, he's like, bro, like, you a cool looking dude.
Right.
You got Cosmo haircut. Like, you need to go see my barber. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm down. He's like, yeah, I want a cool haircut, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like if you telling me there's a cooler haircut, I'm down. Like,
You didn't even know.
no, and like, that's the thing. Like, up until that point, now we're talking 8 years ago. Now, barbering still wasn't a big thing at that point.
It has changed in the past, what, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the start. That's when Instagram, like, started making, like, I'm talking about when I started, bro, you couldn't put videos on Instagram and stuff. So, I mean, it was just now getting big. And so, I go down there, get a haircut, and the dude's, like, dressed how he wants.
Right.
They got rap music on. I sit there waiting to get a haircut, right, for like an hour and a half. It's busy. It's walk-ins. I watch him 20, 20, 20, 20. I'm like, dang, bro, he just made what I make in 3 days of work while I sat and waited. And so basically, like, you know, I'm pretty cool in different scenarios, but this is kind of a hood shop. And so all my friends, like Marcus and all them, they're like, bro, where you getting your haircut? It's kind of in the hood. It's kind of something they don't know about. So they're like, well, will you go with me? And so I start going with them. Every time somebody gets a haircut, I'm down there. So I end up being down there like 3-4 days a week. Kind of slowly but surely, like 6 months of hanging out. And he actually had just graduated barber school. We're coming back from Bowling Green, and I don't remember, man, to be honest, but I must have just been tired of being at B-Dubs, man. I was a manager. I used to work till 1 or 2 in the morning because we were open so late, and I was just tired of it. So I just asked him like what it took, and I was like, bro, like what's it take? Like tell me all about it. What's good about cutting hair? What's bad about cutting hair? How do you go to school? What's that look like? And he told me everything, man. He's like, you know, little kids sometimes it sucks to cut. Like you get dirty people sometimes. Like he's like that's the worst though. Like other than that, so yeah, I went to school. And so I came home. He ended up giving me some clippers. He gave me a master and a Stylecraft too, which is what you used to get at Mr. Cox's school. I don't know if you still do. And I went and bought a Walmart wall clipper that had all the colored guards on it. And I went home, no joke, I watched Fazio videos, about 5 videos in a row. And I had some cooks from B-Dubs come over for free haircuts, and I just cut their hair. Never done it before. And then I signed up with like that same month I signed up for school. But yeah, I never cut before. I was just always like good at stuff with my hands. Like if it's something that you can like just do a few times and get better at, like I'm good. And let me hold that clipper and like put it to the head a few times and I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, like when I started, there was like 3 people on YouTube. Vic the Barber, Bazio had just started.
Vic the Barber was the best on YouTube.
Yeah, Vic the Barber was it, man. He was good. But yeah, just watch some videos and cut. I got pictures of those cuts. They ain't that bad. They ain't that good either. All right, guys, so there you go. There's my story. If you guys haven't heard it, hope you guys appreciate that story. It has been a long 8 years. Super stoked with where I've gotten in 8 years of cutting hair. And I like to inspire my guys, kind of tell them my story and how I got to where I'm at. Or how I got started cutting hair. So anyway, guys, you can see my back taper is giving them a little bit more trouble, a little bit of a tough taper, really going from that short into all the hair that I have. And you guys can see we got quite a heavy ridge of weight hanging down. I do have a double crown, guys, so I made sure to tell him, hey, don't take that crown too much or it will stick up like crazy. So he is going to blend that in at the end. We're going to go ahead and finish up this back taper. We will do a little bit of a blend on that weight, like I said, and then we can check out the finished product. Now you guys can see this is a big guard and it is creating another line here. He will take that line out in a second. The last line that's left there between the open section, I'm gonna start right now with the 1.5 to start to soften that line. Then he'll come in with the 1 guard after that and take that last line out. And you guys will see this thing's gonna come together and get pretty blurry. So he was definitely kind of tripping on cutting my hair. You know, that's part of the thing we talked about. Guys, my barber school teacher he had 2 reasons for having somebody cut his hair. If you came into barber school and you thought you were just hot stuff and you knew everything, he would ask you to cut his hair and then basically knock you down a couple notches. You know, it was a little humbling cutting your teacher's hair. And on the other hand, if you guys were new at barber school and scared to death to cut hair, he would have you cut his hair and tell you it was great and how great of a job you did. And that was definitely a confidence builder as a new student at school when your teacher had you cut his hair and told you you did a great job. So like I said, two different reasons there. And kind of what I was doing with Roscoe, I wanted him to be comfortable. I wanted him to know that, you know, it's just a haircut. It don't matter if it's me or if it's anybody else. They're all just haircuts. I didn't want him to be intimidated to cut my hair. So I just kind of, you know, he said yes right away, but I just wanted to kind of not really pressure him, but kind of say, hey man, you gonna give me a haircut? Let's film it. You know, it's not a big deal. Just knock out a fresh haircut. And he did a good job. So you guys will have to let me know in the comment section down below. I believe he's been out of school about 4 months. So really, this is kind of a technical haircut for somebody that hasn't been cutting hair very long. But you guys can see it coming together. He's almost done with the 1.5 now. The 1 guard and the half guard will finish up this back taper and we can move on. Now we're gonna come in and do some shear over comb. I believe he starts to do some shear over comb, and then he's gonna start to take some vertical sections and just take off that corner that's causing that white to lay so heavy. So, like I said, guys, this is the first time he's cut my hair. I do have a little bit difficult hair with the head tattoos, with the double crown. So I think he did a great job. If you guys leave me a comment down below right now, let me know how he did on this haircut. Again, guys, his Instagram is Roscoe the Barber, R-O-S-C-O-E. You guys go show him some love. Leave a comment down below. Let's boost him up a little bit. But you guys can see there's the finished product. I'm gonna style it up for him. I'm happy with it. Now I got another barber that can cut my hair. So appreciate you guys watching this video. Smash that like button if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys next time.